Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
They used to laugh at me and say that I was crazy. But now they're going to know. Yeah, they're going to know, and it's going to be all right. Just watch.
This is episode 273, recorded November 25th, 2024.
Alien!
Gruesome Magazine.
I'm
nice
sorry,
touch.
my finger twitched. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber. How you doing, Crystal?
I am fabulous. It is Thanksgiving week, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm here for the food. That's all. So
yeah, I think our last four episodes have been off schedule. We just keep bouncing around. Anyway. Yeah, I just found out my brother was supposed to come Sunday for 3 days. He called from Minnesota. They're up in Minnesota, and then they're going to head back to Tucson.
Oh, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Don't you know?
And he called and said, "Hey, is it all right if we come Wednesday?" Yeah, sure. When are you leaving? Next Wednesday.
Okay.
My wife goes, "You're staying for a whole week?"
That is a long
There'll be lots of leftover turkey.
Yeah, we follow that. We usually follow the 3-day relative rule, you know.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't usually get to see him for that long at a time. Well, yeah.
That's nice.
Oh,
Hopefully
by the
they
way,
won't hear this.
Also with us is Chad. Yeah, nobody in my family listens to these. They
Good
think
thing.
I'm weird.
Oh, yeah.
And I am. Also with us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, the all of them. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing great. And it's good to be here with you guys.
Yes,
yes,
it is.
I'm glad we're finally getting this flick in, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's something.
And last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s, and published author of RAUM.
RAUM.
R-A-U-M.
Give the gift of breeding for Christmas.
Yes.
I'm doing fine. As soon as this is over, I start brining the turkey. I've got a 3-day brining procedure.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
I am 100% serious. It soaks in brine for 2 days. Then I take it out and let it sit in the fridge for a day. And that lets the skin dry out so that it gets nice and crispy. And if all goes according to plan, it's like the only way I like to eat turkey now, because the white meat is juicy and not dry. And the dark meat still gets cooked.
Except, and only Patreon members will see this before Thanksgiving if they want that.
You can cook a turkey anytime.
Like a good idea.
After Thanksgiving, they put a lot of them on sale. The ones they haven't sold yet. You can get yourself a nice. I got this 29-cent a pound turkey. I got a 10-pound turkey for $3.
I hate turkey.
You've never had my turkey.
Really?
I don't like turkey. I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't know what's another traditional Thanksgiving thing.
Pecan pie.
Oh, I love pecan
potato
pie.
Casserole.
Anyway,
dressing.
Stuffing. Tell me you don't like stuffing.
I like stuffing.
Good.
Like stuffing.
Thank God.
So
really, we're gonna kick you out, commie.
And don't forget the gravy.
Of course, the gravy. How do you get a turkey gravy without a turkey?
My wife makes turkey. I'm not saying we don't have turkey. I just don't like turkey.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Cranberry sauce, and I mean the good cranberry sauce that comes out of a can and looks like
I like the jelly. I like the jelly stuff.
It's got to be out of the can.
Absolutely.
I make a relish out of orange peels, cranberries, and
that sounds good.
And apples, and it's all I grind it all up, coarse grind it. So it's relish.
That sounds delicious.
And it is so good.
Yeah. That sounds delicious, Chad.
Hear it, Chad.
I'm serious. I would like the recipe. I would make that.
I just want to send the Tupperware of it, not the recipe.
I love the cranberry and the orange together. That sounds
it's just the orange peel. It's not the orange itself, but it's ground so small.
That gives
You
it
know,
a
you
unique
you just
flavor.
taste the
We're
orange
making
oil.
everyone hungry now.
That's
Everyone's
right.
gonna be like, God, I want to eat.
Okay. Well, let's.
And then tonight's movie, Cannibal Holocaust. Blah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As long as we're not eating breakfast like Eleanor was when
Mm.
she watched it. So, Decades of Horror is partners with Play Now Media. And in fact, Decades of Horror, the 1980s, is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. All of their apps have been upgraded, so I would strongly suggest you check that out. You can just go visit them incognito and watch movies with ads, or you can sign up and it'll remember, you can have a favorites list and stuff like that, but you still get the ads, or you can also pay a fee. So monthly fee, or you can pay yearly, which is discounted, and they've got some good stuff. Periodically I just go through there and find something I haven't seen and play it and go, wow, somebody made this movie. But those are fun to see, and they have good ones. They've got good ones too. So check them out. On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, and we follow that by each of our first impressions, taglines. We take a look at the posters, and then we talk about whatever trips our triggers. So the topic of our discussion today is Without Warning, 1952.
Wait,
What the hell
what?
is that?
That's the wrong one.
I was
looks
like,
like-
wait a second.
Is that
I was
Kiss Me
actually,
Deadly?
How
I
did
started
I mix
freaking
those
out.
up? No, there's actually a movie called Without Warning from 1952.
Oh,
it actually freaked me out. I was like, wait, that
Oh,
doesn't
no.
look like the movie I
Which
watched.
has I can tell this is going to be an astray, an episode that off goes astray. The German title is Achtung, ein blondiger Gangster.
Yes, so
Oh,
The
there's
blonde
the picture.
gangster.
There we
Okay,
go.
our movie today is Without Warning from 1980. And oh my God, I love this scene with Larry Storch. He sets the stage right off the bat. I loved it. Especially when he's trying to light a cigarette with a flint on a stone.
that's funny.
Oh, this movie is directed by Greydon Clark, written by Lynn Freeman, Daniel Grodnik, Bennett Tramer as Ben Nett, and Steve Mathis. The cast includes Jack Palance, Martin Landau, Tara Nutter, Christopher S. Nelson, Cameron Mitchell, Neville Brand, Sue Ann Langdon, Ralph Meeker, Larry Storch, and David Caruso. Production company
cast.
is Heritage Enterprises and World Amusement Company. It was filmed in California, mostly at the Paramount Ranch, but also at Malibu Creek State Park, which is right next to the Paramount Ranch, and at a country western tavern. Filming dates. Well, the filming schedule was 3 weeks in December of 1979, 15 days, and released in September 19th, 1980 in LA, and September 26, 1980 in New York City. The budget was $150,000. Domestic box office estimated at $300,000, although the director said it made a fair amount of money overseas, etc. So the synopsis: 4 teenagers go camping despite warnings not to.
A classic blunder.
From none other than Jack Palance. I mean, who doesn't listen to Jack Palance?
Yeah, really.
They soon encounter aliens who are using the area as a hunting ground.
He even said, please.
Oh, Larry Storch. So him and those Cub Scouts come marching in. The Cub Scouts are singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, and he's singing Battle Hymn of the Republic. And I don't know what's on that.
I feel like that whole scene was ad-libbed by him.
Oh, totally.
Probably. The director said whenever he had somebody singing in a scene, he always used the Battle Hymn of the Republic because he wasn't going to have to pay any royalty.
That's right.
And I imagine the same is true of 99 bottles, but that was a real Cub Scout den. One of the crew members said, "Hey, you can use my son's Cub Scouts."
When we did Blood of the Mummy and we had to have a scene with karaoke, the girl sings Beautiful Dreamer because it's been in the public domain for about 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's
A
smart.
good one.
Yeah.
Listen,
But
hey,
it sounds, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. We've had a lot of movies with stupid people. But if in the first 5 minutes of a movie, you go to a drugstore or whatever, and Jack Palance tells you not to go in the woods, you don't go in the woods, because if Jack Palance says, you're going to get killed if you go in the woods, you're going to get killed, probably by Jack Palance. What makes this movie unique is it's someone else who does it. But damn,
this is all true. All right, well, let's get to first impressions, and this one is Chad's pick, and actually it got bumped once for Ghost Story. I don't know if Ghost Story is still out there streaming, but we've been waiting so long for it to come up that we swapped Chad's picks. He had Ghost Story as the one that we would do today, but I was kind of afraid it wouldn't still be available. So we finally are doing Without Warning. Chad, why did you pick this, and what are your impressions?
I picked this because back in the day when HBO and Cinemax first came out, it was like a godsend, because most of the times back then, I know there's kids out there now that go, what? Once you saw something in the movies, that was it until it premiered on TV or whatever. That was it. You did not get to see anything again until a year later or 2 years later. HBO comes along, Cinemax comes along, and not only do they play movies, but they play them over and over and over again. And we were one of the first ones on our block that had HBO and Cinemax. And this movie came on late one night, and I was up on a Friday night, and I watched it, and I fell completely in love with this movie. I was just thrilled with the idea of it. I love the little critters, the little living ninja star critters that he threw around everywhere. I love that idea. I love that they latched onto and just sucked as they turned into vanilla pudding, and I love that. And I was a big fan of F Troop. I loved seeing Larry Storch in there. Neville Brand. I was a big Space 1999 fan. So Martin Landau was there. And it was a few years after Space 1999. So he looked a little weird to me with the long hair and everything. But Jack Palance, who I loved in Dracula, Prince of Darkness, and all that. So this was such a cool movie to me. And I love the creature and the Kevin Peter Hall, I think was his name, who went on later to do The Predator and play the Predator in the first Predator movie. And just great stuff, man. It's funny. The acting is terrible. It's got some stupid moments in it, some weird moments, but great effects. And it's just something little Chad, or younger Chad at the time, just had a ball with. And I still love watching it now just for that reason alone. It's probably, people look at it and it's a terrible movie, but I just love it. I love it.
Excellent. Bill, how about you? When did you first see this?
I first saw this a couple of weeks ago when I thought we're going to be watching it the next day, talking about it. I was aware of this movie. I tended to keep getting it mixed up with I Come in Peace, which is also about an alien that throws stuff at you. It was part of the short-lived aliens who come to Earth and throw things at you cycle of films that was basically I Come in Peace and Without Warning. Those are the two. But he threw CDs, if I remember correctly. I don't know. We'll do that one someday. So I don't know. For whatever reason, I just never felt the need to grab this and watch it. And I don't know why, because I had a good time. It's very cheap. It's very low budget, but it's got a great cast. They're not always on for very long. If Larry Storch took more than a couple hours to shoot his scenes, I don't know. But Cameron Mitchell, I love this stuff. This has got one of the best casts you can ask for, even if they're not on very long. The monster, when we finally see him, is pretty cool looking. And the little jellyfish, starfish things are really, really neat. And they kind of reminded me of one of my all-time favorite classic 50s horror movies, Not of This Earth, where the alien also employs some occasional vampire, squid, flying things. These were a little better. You couldn't see the strings on this one. It's fun. It's fun. It moves at a nice little clip. It's got a super high death count. Don't get too attached to anyone, and you won't, because they're not great characters and they're not terribly well acted. But you know what? It's fun. It's fun. It's a neat little thing. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's got aliens and monsters and crazy people. It's got all the tropes, and I had a very good time watching it. So no classic, but enjoyable.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Crystal, had you seen this before?
Nope. I'd never seen this. I'd never even heard of this before. Okay, so this is what I think about this movie. When I first started watching it, I was like, this is bad. And not bad good, just bad. Like that first scene with the father and the son is awful. It's just horribly awful. And then just how the dad keeps pointing the gun at the son. I'm like, it's not even good bad. However, as the movie kept going on, I started liking it more and more and more. So I loved the movie. I actually thought it was really great. It got kind of interesting, actually.
Bad.
What? Exactly. Yeah, but that beginning part, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that was a slog.
I was like, that's just too bad. I was like, but it changed. Like it totally. I almost feel like cutting that beginning part out of it would make it a better movie, because it set the wrong tone. Usually, you make that first scene extra strong, and then the rest of the movie maybe isn't as good. But it was the opposite here. But I was watching it and I was like, okay, so we got these aliens, obviously. These so dumb. These spinny things, and the special effects for 1980 are actually really good. They're horrible though, but they're good. You got to know what this was filmed in the 70s technically, so that's actually not bad. But they couldn't stop at the aliens. They had to go with the crazy dude and the Sergeant, right? Isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, this movie just doesn't stop. Like it just throws a lot at you, and it's fun. That kept it interesting then, like when all this starts coming down, it's pretty interesting. So no, this was the first time I saw it, but I did like it, and I would watch it again. I probably will watch it again, because I feel like after I watched that beginning part, I was kind of, for a while, I was kind of disinterested. And then as it kept going, it just kept getting better. Obviously, who doesn't love Jack Palance? He's amazing. And David Caruso doesn't have a very big part here. Not really. He's just hanging around. Okay. So that's it.
That's it. All right. This is my first time seeing this as well. We've talked about it. We've had Grue believers that have mentioned it in comments and things like that, and got excited when are you guys going to do this kind of thing. And so I'm glad we did it, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. The scene with Cameron Mitchell, I don't know what it is. He's usually a pretty good actor, but that wasn't. Maybe it was the dialogue he had. It just he was a goof. Anyway,
yeah.
The son looked older than he did.
Yeah.
Well, the
whole thing is so weird.
And he's wearing a turtleneck and a long sleeve honey jacket, and his son's got like a short sleeve Hawaiian
tropical shirt on.
That's it.
I know. It's like, and it's open most of the time.
Yeah. Anyway, I loved it. I love anytime they use these character actors, even though they were like spot parts. I don't know how much they got. and apparently Jack Palance and Martin Landau between them took half the budget. But they make the movie and they do a great job. I kind of liked Tara Nutter. Maybe not at the very beginning, but as it went farther along, I felt like she just seemed really natural to me. I don't know.
Oh, is that the final or one of the last girls?
Yeah, the final girl, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jeff. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't.
Go ahead.
But that first part when she's acting, she's like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
When they meet,
I was like, Jesus, smack her, just smack her. Like, but yeah, her acting gets way better. It's crazy. Like, it's like almost two different people. Sorry. Go ahead.
So anyway, yeah, Ralph Meeker, who has, I think, one line. Larry Storch, David Caruso, Martin Landau, Jack Palance, Cameron Mitchell, Neville Brand. I don't know. I'm probably repeating things now. Sue Ann Langdon, I thought was great too as the bar owner. So, and I love the alien weapons. I thought those were cool. Nothing fancy, but cool stuff.
Now, none of this makes even a remote lick of sense that this alien, who's got all this advanced weaponry, is hanging out in Moose Fart, Tennessee, up in the mountains. Apparently has set up shop there for some considerable length of time, and nobody's aware of it. Like, why? Why would he be there? Why?
Yeah, long enough for Jack Palance to get a serious scar in his arm that's healed over and everything. You know?
Is he waiting for someone to come pick him up, phone home? Is it just, what's the deal?
Well, it's now time for that.
Oh boy.
Special.
That special boy
of the program.
Yay.
Now time for Taglines with Chad.
Okie dokie. These aren't this isn't too bad. There's only 5 here, so I can live with that.
Yep.
The taglines for Without Warning, also known as It Came Without Warning, are as follows. It came without warning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's
wow.
funny.
That's
and now it's coming for you.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
The alien terror is here on Earth.
Okay.
The terror is here on Earth.
What about the alien terror?
Well, yeah, we don't need aliens. We're just
this is just
terrorized.
A different kind of terror.
It preys on human fear. It feeds on human flesh.
Okay. That's the worst one. But they're not bad considering. I mean,
wait, he's got one more.
Oh, one more? Okay.
It doesn't make any difference. Earth is the hunting ground. Man is the endangered species.
Okay.
Right.
But still, that other one was the worst one.
Yeah. There you go, everybody.
Yay.
It's been a pleasure.
Try the veal.
That's been Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
That's the best part of the whole segment.
It is really best part of the show, really.
Well, I tried to do some foreign taglines, Chad, but the translations were even more nonsensical than usual. So I just didn't even put them in there.
Bite the wax tadpole without warning.
Trying to destroy our friendship on a daily basis.
I know. I'm trying. And by the way, Chad mentioned this is also known as Alien Encounters.
Wow, that sounds
Alien
sexy.
Warning. Or Caccia ai Terrestri in Italy. Horror hunting Earthlings.
Horror hunting Earthlings.
And in Mexico, I think Atacán sin avisar. I don't know. They attack without warning. In Norway, Jack Tomradi Jordan. I know I'm screwing these all up. Jordan. Hunting Area Earth. And in Germany, the best. Das Geheimnis der Fliegenden Teufel. The Secret of the Flying Devils.
Wow. That sounds cool.
It does. The
Hosted
German always
by Sheriff Dushendorf.
Yep.
That is why
All
they
right,
call me
let's
Rome.
take.
All right, I think
Oh,
this
that
is a
looks
great
awesome.
That's a good
This
poster.
is a
Yeah,
boss
it
great
is.
poster. This would go
Holy
right on the wall.
moly.
There is nothing wrong with
That
this
I've
poster.
never seen or heard. It must have just been a little too old. Like, because I've never seen
Well, it's
this.
been
That
unavailable for a long time. It never showed on TV hardly at all. It was never. It didn't come out on VHS, I don't think. Very limited. I think somebody just put it out on Blu-ray not too long ago.
I gotta say, this is one of
Mhm.
my favorite posters. I
Yeah.
always
Yep.
kind of like the silhouette where you
absolutely.
can
That
see stuff happening in the background with the orange glow around it. Perfect.
Well,
I
and
think I
this-
put these posters in order of best to worst because it goes down.
Yeah,
Real,
well,
real fast.
and you see features of the alien's face, but not
yes,
and
it's
his
awesome.
his
Just enough to
hands
make
too.
him look kind of
Yes.
Lovecrafty in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does. He looks
And
like
then the,
Mind Flayer a little bit.
Yeah.
from
Four teenagers
Dungeons and
by their
Dragons.
van, and
And we know what the cannon fodder is because there they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Their
nice one.
faces look funny.
It's mostly mouth. Yeah.
Ah,
All right.
Oh.
I like this one, but probably not for a good reason.
Oh,
okay.
that's.
Yeah.
It's just.
that's
I mean,
Those things look.
Yeah.
I love those
yeah,
things.
that's it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're big,
The carnivorous flying saucers.
F-15
And so it really
size.
is called "It Came Without Warning" here, because
That was one of the.
obviously
Yeah, that was one
whole-
of the titles. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know how
Man,
they
that's
decided.
just super
Mm.
bad.
And just I have no idea why we thought the no hunting sign was good there. I guess the
Yeah,
aliens
I
are
guess
supposed to be
it's-
hunting. Maybe
It's
that's
ironic because
a little
and
bit
she
of a
seems to be
stretch.
bursting through wood and
Yeah, it's weird.
And her
bursting
top.
through his shirt.
bursting
Yeah,
through her shirt. Yeah. Oh.
All righty.
Oh boy. Hmm.
I hate
Yeah,
that
yeah.
poster.
So we got these giant flying saucer things that are
With
like
teeth.
frisbee size, but these things look giant
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
with teeth on the bottom. And then this one,
No,
I
I
don't
remember
hate it.
that one. I remember that one.
it came without warning, without warning, without warning, without warning.
You know, but I don't know why they would even have this poster because it looks like, well, we couldn't afford an artist. Yes, you did. You had a perfectly good piece of art, and this one's.
I
This one's
think
just
that first one was made for the DVD or Blu-ray release.
Oh, so
Oh, so
possible.
this is okay. That makes
may be
sense.
possible.
Yeah, because that
because
one.
I remember this movie poster when I went to see it in the theater.
okay.
Oh,
Or
wow.
not the theater, but the when it played in the theaters. I remember seeing this in the what do they call that page in the newspaper?
Movie ads.
Yeah, okay, movie. And that was-
What
Classified?
was it like the theater stuff, like the movie?
We had
playing stuff or something?
yeah.
the big time newspaper in Des Moines had an entertainment section.
Oh,
Our local Ames paper was you opened the front page and the inside page was covered with movie ads.
Oh,
So I don't know.
isn't that wild? That's cool.
So
I'll have
Oh.
one ticket for without warning, without warning, without warning, without warning.
Hmm.
yeah, this one is the dual language one that we run into all the time. I always try to find those for classic here, but it's French and Dutch. And they both say something like terror of the extraterrestrial.
Hmm.
Apparently extraterrestrial in Dutch is Buitenaardse.
but the next
anyway.
one's my favorite
Okay.
because the
That's
name
your
of the movie.
favorite?
Yeah, because the name of the movie is Without Warning, and the poster is just the word warning over and over and over again. Makes no sense.
This is not without warning. This is
It's
multitude
Too many
of
warnings. There's so many warnings we couldn't even fit most of the alien on the cover. We could only get part of his enormous head.
I thought that was a light bulb.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Lord.
That,
Yeah, the alien head is not good. And that's the tagline. I translated that in French and it just makes no sense.
I just love the
Return.
premise.
It's like Return of a certain type of alien. Like,
The name of our movie is Without Warning. Let's make the poster the word warning. How many times can you put warning on our Without Warning poster? I don't know. Let's try.
So that's it for the posters, but let's take a look at the director. Now the director is Greydon Clark.
Joysticks. I went to see that in the theater.
Did you really?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
he did a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Satan's Cheerleaders, I feel like, is one we're going to have to do because it seems to keep popping up. That we'll say, what other movie was this person? Well, they're in Satan's Cheerleaders. They got that going for them.
I gotta admit, Psychic Killer looks neat.
That looks like a Patrick.
It looks exactly like a Patrick ripoff.
Kinda.
I think this director kind of had his finger on the pulse of what was going on and things, and just was like, hey, video games are big. Let's make a video game movie and call it Joysticks.
It wasn't a video game movie.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was one of those sex comedy like Porky's and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of sex.
It's more fun than games.
It does say more fun than games. Yeah,
Right.
it does say that.
And this guy has cleverly cut a hole in the video game machine so he can look up their dresses. So we know exactly
oh my
where.
God. Okay,
Oh
that's what
my
he was
God,
doing. I was
yeah.
like, what?
And then Shampoo was a big hit. And it's like, well, what about Black Shampoo? Well, what about it? There you go.
What the heck?
I'll tell you what about it. He's bad. He's mean. He's a loving machine.
Yeah.
For those of you that are interested, Joysticks is available on Hoopla and Tubi.
Oh.
Right.
Please don't be interested.
God.
There's better ways to spend your time.
This is his, and we'll have to talk about this too, Chad. Who's the cinematographer?
Oh.
Dean Cundey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of Halloween and Onward fame.
One of the best in the business, yeah.
This was
He
his
and Carpenter
fifth
were
movie
working
with
together.
Greydon Clark. Yeah.
So he seems to be one of those cinematographers who develops a relationship with directors and makes it work. I'm sure he was not paid the same for Black Shampoo as he was for Escape from New York.
Oh, right. So in fact, he said, Greydon Clark said, I called up his agent and explained, this is low budget. They had done Angels Brigade in 1979, High Riders 1978, Satan's Cheerleaders, and Black Shampoo were all. Dean Cundey was a cinematographer for Greydon Clark. And I think High Riders and Angels Brigade, I think they had Jack Palance and Neville Brand in them.
Well, he went from that to working with John Carpenter, then Steven Spielberg. Not a bad arc there.
No, and you could see his mark in this film because there's so many scenes in the dark that are shot so well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's where it pays off to have a good cinematographer, because if it was just a regular person, it would probably be like mud. It would look like Dracula versus Frankenstein, where we don't know what's going on.
He'd already had that experience with Halloween and done those great shots. And also, this also incorporated Steadicam, like they used in Halloween. There's a few shots like that. Not a ton, but a few. Anyway.
Everything was, the way he lit everything was, you could see everything going on, even at nighttime. And a good cinematographer that can do that and make you think, that's not really nighttime. Make you see the lights there, but you not see the lights there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The whole thing takes place in one day and night.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of cool, and a huge part of it's done at night. So I don't know if he has a signature other than Greydon Clark. I mean, but I think this movie is. I think he did some nice stuff here. I mean, the like you said, I think you mentioned it, Bill. They paid Rick Baker $19,000 for the alien head, apparently, and the director was sort of. I don't know that he was derogatory about it, but he's sort of like he made this thing in his like mom's kitchen on the counter or something like that.
You know, for
exactly what he said.
$150,000 budget, 19,000 for a mask
That's a lot.
is a big chunk of.
Well, I think they spent 75 grand on Martin Landau and Jack Palance, so now we're down to like 55,000 for the whole rest of everything.
Yeah, we're giving Larry Storch, we're paying him in hot dogs, you know,
or cigarettes.
Yeah.
Well, they spent a lot of money on the
mask that doesn't move and doesn't have any kind of articulation.
That's a lot of money. It doesn't have the stuff that Baker was capable of, but it did its job, and it certainly got used in the publicity more than it actually did in the movie. I don't know if this director has a real discernible style, other than he kind of reminds me of some of the Italian directors, even some of the Italian directors that we like Fulci and everything. We only do their horror films, but when you look at all the films they shot, these guys would shoot 3 or 4 movies a year, and they shoot what they think is going to put butts in seats. When video games are hot, you do a video game movie. Satan's Cheerleaders actually is a great title. You know what you're going to get. So we're going to have to do that sometime.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Neither have I.
Yeah, Black Shampoo. You got to love taglines. He's bad. He's mean. He's a loving machine.
Yeah, they had Dolomite do the taglines.
I still remember the title song for that movie, Joysticks, and I'm so
Sing it.
sad that playing with my joysticks.
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
And I had forgotten that until now. So thanks for bringing that up.
Pleasant dreams. Playing with my.
Well, let's we kind of.
When we're
talking
about this, I'm totally going to YouTube and seeing if I can dig up the title track for Joysticks.
Yeah, do that. It's hilarious.
So there's the alien.
There he is.
I guess the mouth did open a little bit.
Yeah, I guess enough to give him that
like
"How dare you" expression. Like,
clutching it.
Who had the audacity to kill one of my starfish?
The thing that's part of his outfit there, like the net, that's a hammock.
Okay.
They went and bought a hammock from Walmart or something, or back then it was probably Kmart, but and then.
Well, that's the thing. This movie or the Predator movie borrowed so much stuff out of this, that especially the netting costume. The Predator wore like a netting as part of his outfit and everything, and the hunting of humans and the throwing weapons and that kind of stuff. I find it hard to believe that it's not connected in some way, or the guys that made it didn't know about this movie.
That's really a pretty good mask. They didn't show it enough. Because usually that's a sign of, we do not want them to see this because it doesn't hold up under the harsh reality of light. But it's actually a pretty cool mask. He looks pissed off. He's definitely alien.
Yeah.
I still don't know what he's doing there, though. Does he like the moonshine? I mean, why is he there? Why does he not go home?
I don't know. You don't need to know. And he stores the bodies in a shack,
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
And he's got a growing gift there, which some of them were hairy and some weren't, which I didn't understand that. The one that killed
when they
were spinning around, some of them are covered in hair for some weird reason.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Kevin Peter Hall, who's wearing that costume, is this is his second. Yeah, and it's his second credited role. He's also the mutant bear in Prophecy.
Oh boy!
Oh wow!
That poor guy. He was really tall. He was over 7 feet, I think.
I got 6'9" is what I'm seeing here.
Oh, really? Oh, well, he seemed tall.
3 inches off or something? That's not that.
Oh, he's 7'4". So 7'4".
7'4".
Oh, Jesus,
wow.
Louise.
He grew. He got to 6'9" in high school and started playing basketball.
Jeez, Crystal, he could have picked you up and put you in his pocket. This guy was.
Yeah. Well, my brother's 6'5". That's crazy, right?
Wow.
He was in a show called Misfits of Science.
Yes. Yeah.
And he wasn't in any kind of costume, and he was way taller than 6'9". It looked like to me.
Yeah, 7'4".
So 7'4". Yeah. That's super tall. That's crazy.
He seems to have been very well liked.
Taller than my brother. That's wild.
The thing I saw was talking about how fast it grew. It said he started his junior year in high school at 6'5" and finished it at 6'9".
Did he have a pituitary issue or something?
Doesn't say anything.
His
Because
feature,
that
he didn't
seems-
have those acromegaly features that you sometimes see with that. But yeah, his career was cut short on sadly illness. But he was in a lot of really cool things. He was Harry and the Hendersons and did a really good job in that. It's hard. These are not acting roles that show off what you can do other than be tall. But he did a great job in Harry and the Hendersons. A lot of that probably was, I think that was also Rick Baker. But he more than held his own in making that character buried under all that makeup, making it into a likable, sympathetic character. Not here though. He's just a jerk.
This says, Christmas. He died in 1991. That would have been at the age of 46. After being in a car accident and during surgery, got a contaminated blood transfusion and caught AIDS and died of AIDS.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sad.
Jesus. Well, they didn't really know, probably what all.
No, 36. Yeah. I'm sorry. I said 46. 36.
Yeah, 36. I thought he was young.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It is. But that's a great look, and those two scenes are good. And that top shot is so fast because he just reaches up and throws one of those things. And it's in a lot darker light. I think this has been lightened up quite a bit.
It has been lightened up a little bit. I had a hard time actually finding shots that were visible. So even the one on the bottom, I've had to play around with the levels.
Yeah, I see that too. And that was pretty good too when he comes into the house that they're in. And here's what he's throwing.
So cool.
Bill calls it the jellyfish weapon. I think they called it the frisbee or I forget, they had another name for it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's got teeth and it also has little drills and
then they put some reflective something on it so you could see it at night. Shine a light on it and it went flying through the glow in the dark kind of stuff. I liked it. Crystal, you thought it was a little lame, or did you?
No, for the time, I think the effects are good, but let's be real, they're not fabulous. Come on, y'all. Don't lie.
It's not, but I like it. I still like it.
Well, you can see in this bottom shot. I don't know what the top
I mainly
one.
mean, and that's exactly. I think I'm mainly talking about at the bottom shot where when it goes in the skin, you can tell that the skin doesn't look as good as it could.
No, it's clearly made out of latex.
All. And the blood is not blood color, and it's fine. Okay, it's just let's not fool the audience into trying to watch this movie.
But if you put a bunch of green slime all over everything, it makes everything look better. Well, they made life casts of all the victims' heads.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a lot of money.
That was a waste of money.
Death shots.
Yeah,
no, that's what they use for these death shots. And
well,
yeah, but that's a lot of money. Instead of just putting something to someone's face, I think that would be a way better.
It's such a tight close up. They could have just used the one.
Well, I think it was partially for the tight shooting schedule because he said the director said every scene that shows a close up of that frisbee creature was shot post filming in his garage with Dean Cundey and Greg Canham, the special effects guy. Just the three of them. So they'd have the head cast in there and shoot this.
Canham went on to do some good stuff like
he did. He's
Bram Stoker's Dracula and I think Cat People, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but he went on to do some really great stuff. I think he won some Academy Awards.
Yes, he did. He's got 4 Oscars. Greg Canham. One for, let's see, this is interesting. Best Achievement in Makeup, Vice. 2019. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, good makeup in that.
Let me see. Where's the other winner? Mrs. Doubtfire and Bram Stoker's Dracula. And he was nominated for Hook, Hoffa, Roommates, Titanic, and Bicentennial Man, and A Beautiful Mind.
These are the things I think people remember most from this movie. It's like, that's the one with the Frisbee teeth thing.
I don't know. I loved him. So, and any place that you see a close up, so like when it's on the post and it's getting, and Jack Palance is cutting it open, or it's on his leg and he's cutting it open, all those are shot in Greydon Clark's garage.
that's actually pretty cool. Well, if you film it close enough, you can't tell where you're
you
at,
can,
you know, like
right.
and have it dark around, and yeah, it's brilliant, really.
Well, it saved him on the shooting schedule too, right? And
Sure.
then you only had a crew of 3 people there to do those. So
That twist of the boyfriend getting it was, I did not see that coming.
Yeah,
when I
that was a surprise.
Yeah.
When you follow a character that long in the movie, to have them die off screen is
yeah.
a bit of a surprise.
Well, I think you have cannon fodder this is Cameron
Guest
and
stars.
Storch for
Yeah.
the opening scene. Yeah,
Cameron
Larry
and Fodder.
Storch, great. I was trying like hell to see what the hell that scarf he was wearing, but it wasn't Boy Scouts. I think it was like small railroad lines or something. I mean, it was like the C and EI, and then there was Rock Island, and then there was the something road.
Larry Storch lived to be like 100 years old. Just passed away a little while ago, and was still had his wits about him to the very end. They would do interviews, and when someone's 100 years old, you kind of expect you're going to have to give them a lot of grace. But he was 100 years old, but he still had stories to tell, and he could tell them.
Awesome.
And that's great. I always liked him. Like you were saying, I loved F Troop.
Yeah.
Politically incorrect, probably doesn't get shown much anymore, but it was funny. It was just good broad humor.
Didn't it feel to you guys like these 2 scenes with Cameron Mitchell and him were totally unscripted?
Yeah.
Almost like the director was going, talk about your relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
Got another 20 minutes in this movie.
So that's why I think Cameron Mitchell's, he had, I don't know how many times he said hubba hubba.
Yeah.
It just got.
Yeah.
Wake up, hubba hubba.
Get out of bed, get up.
Or like
hubba, hubba.
they just found out that these guys were available. It's like, oh my God, yes, get them, bring them in for a day. We'll shoot some stuff for a day.
Half day. They're paying them the half day for each of them. And they shot these 2 scenes in the same day. So, and that everything that shot with the lake in the background was shot in the same day. That was where they went to Malibu Creek State Park. They did that for 1 day. I think they said they had to shoot out of order because Jack Palance and Mark Landau each of them were only available for a week. So, but those guys are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they elevated this movie for sure, having those 2 guys in it.
Right.
So here, Bill calls them cannon fodder. But on the far left is Lynn Thiel. And none of these people except David Caruso have a lot of credits to speak of. Lynn Thiel was in Humanoids from the Deep. She was the one that was raped by the humanoid on the beach. rips her top off, and she was a Playboy Playmate.
I remember that, actually. That's cool.
Playboy Playmate in 1975, but that's about it. She doesn't have very many credits. And then what is her name? Tara Nutter in the red top in that picture. She didn't do very much either. She's now what did I read? She's an expressionist painter.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
She studied acting with Jeff Corey too. So anyway, And lastly, Christopher S. Nelson, the one on the far right, he is Ed Nelson's son.
Who's Ed Nelson?
Well,
It's Christopher's dad.
he's a guy with 200
Yep.
credits that he did a ton of Corman stuff in the late 50s.
Oh,
He got
that's
hooked up with
interesting.
Corman and did everything from he was the crab in the Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Wow. That's a
but he
credit
also
right
what else was he in? Swamp Women, Attack of the Crab Monsters, Invasion of the Saucermen, The Brain Eaters, Teenage Caveman, The Crybaby Killer, Night of the Blood Beast, She Gods of Shark Reef, A Bucket of Blood. But then he became just one of those guys that comes up through the 60s and 70s and 80s. It's in every damn TV show you ever saw. If you look him up, you'll recognize it. And Christopher Nelson said that his dad's advice to him was to start with overplaying it, just really go after it, and then it's easier to dial it back. If the director tells you to.
That's true.
Okay, yeah.
Dial it back.
But,
So
My advice is don't look at the camera.
there's some of that going on. But he doesn't. I think he has and all these three people, other than David Caruso, all their credits are in the first half of the 80s, and then that's it. Anyway, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
David Caruso, on the other hand, we were talking about him before the show, Bill. He was in Hill Street Blues, and then he was in NYPD Blue. Is that right? I got those right?
I think he was in CSI, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was
And
CSI.
he was in CSI Miami.
Yeah, with the Who.
That's
song.
right. That's right. Yeah.
He was
kind of famous for leaving a hit TV show to go seek his fortune in Hollywood, and his movie did not do well.
He's in First Blood.
Yeah.
He's one of the deputies. Let's see, NYPD Blue 93 to 94, and then in Hill Street Blues he was the Irish teenage gang leader, nicknamed Shamrock.
Of course.
Oh,
That's
fun.
your name. Don't wear it out.
Always after me, Lucky Charms.
So this was his. I don't know. I thought this was his first credit. They're showing another movie before this, but maybe it just came out Getting Wasted. But he's the one that actually shows some energy, right? When they're, I don't know. I think he does a decent job in this.
Yeah, I think of the four, if I didn't know anything, I'd say, yeah, that redheaded kid probably is the one who might go on to do something.
So the scene supposedly when they're in the store with Jack Palance, and he comes out and tells them, stay away from the lake, and Caruso kind of chuckles, and apparently
steal your gas.
Jack Palance got all pissed off.
In real life?
And said,
oh, geez.
What the fuck are you laughing? Don't be laughing during the scene. And he goes, well, I thought when your character said that, my character would laugh. And Jack Palance told him, and if your character said that, my character would hit you in the face.
Oh, man.
Then the director had to come over and go, okay, light that.
All right, let's this is great. You're a young kid. You're with, a legit movie star, and he's suddenly going all, you talking to me? Oh, do I amuse you? Am I a clown? And now you're in a scene from Wise Guys. Hey, does that top shot not remind you of the end shot from The Blob?
The Blob, yeah. Del Close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been saving this.
And it is similar. There's a wire. His hand is concealing a wire. That is that, the tentacle that sticks up.
Yeah. They did that same gag in The Thing. They had the fake hand holding the test tube that he was sticking the hot wire in.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
I thought he was absolutely great in this. And they talk about how
of course. Mm-hmm.
the director was trying to play him to switch it a little bit. Like at the very beginning, when they meet Martin Landau in the bathroom, the two girls, other than the fact that they're in the men's bathroom, so that's not all that
fair
weird.
enough.
But he doesn't say really weird things to him.
Right.
He really doesn't. And then even when they see him in the bar and he's playing pool, he doesn't act super weird until they say they've seen the alien, you know.
Well, he did ask a dumb question when they were in the store. You know, what are you kids doing here? Well, you sell gas.
Yeah.
Well, not. I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm talking about
Oh,
Martin
you're talking about
Landau.
when they're in the bar, right?
Yeah, well, they both said it. They both said, "What the hell are you kids doing in here?"
Yeah, right.
He asked.
Right.
Landau said it to the girls when they went in the
Okay.
women's room,
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
Palance said it to all of them when they came into the store.
Yeah. I mean, my
So-
default expectation is that Jack Palance is the one who's going to kill me, not Martin Landau.
That's
but
right.
That would be incorrect.
I know, right?
Jack Palance
Yeah.
comes out and
Mhm.
he acts real mysterious and like an asshole, you know. Don't go to the lake, whatever you do, you know. And then kind of keeps that up part of the way, you know, like when he takes them after they're in the bar and he takes them out in the truck, he pretty much is intimidating them to go with him.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking, are you out of your mind? Why are you going, you know, if you don't know what's going to happen? So yeah, that they switched a little bit, that Palance seemed like the crazy dangerous one at the beginning, and then Landau does his
Landau shoots somebody and gets
yeah.
away with it. They don't even haul him off to jail for shooting the sheriff. When the
No, he
sheriff-
shoots the sheriff.
Yeah,
Life is cheap in this town.
that was crazy. Like, but oh god, that they made Sergeant's character so insane. Like he should be in jail. He should have taken him and locked him up, tied him up, whatever.
Well, the
Crazy.
sheriff shows up by himself. He shoots him, and apparently he ran out into the car and drove away. You know, the police car. Now,
crazy.
the police don't react very quickly in this because through the entire night, no other police show up.
Well, they're looking for the Boy Scouts.
Oh, that's right. They're off looking for the lost Boy Scout. Cub Scouts. What's that, Chad?
They're both great in it.
Yeah.
Landau, and they did flip it, and they did a good job with that because you felt like Landau knows what's going on. Then things started getting heated at the bar, and you see his character start to flip a little bit and go a little, you know, things didn't get bad till you kids came here. Then he started going a little bit psycho.
They're both swinging for the fences, but you know what? The second word in overacting is acting. At least they're putting in the effort.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
these guys
That's
can
fair.
chew up the scenery and still be legit.
They said, Greydon Clark said they always were on the mark, knew their lines. You know, if there was one time where Palance did something that he said, I can't, like when Palance walks into the bar, he walks around and kind of greets everybody.
Mhm.
And the director said, you can't do that because I can't do that many setups to actually show what happened. And otherwise I just don't have the time for that. And Palance went, oh, okay. So he just walked in and sat down. You know?
Cool.
Same with Landau. I think there was something he said that either one of them, you could just kind of whisper something to them and they'd go, okay, got it. And now, Palance, this is something I didn't know about him. I knew he's an ex-boxer, but I didn't realize, or if I did, I forgot it, that he was a bomber. He was trained to be a B-24 pilot in World War II, and he was injured in a crash. The crash was stateside, and there's some disagreement about where it was. You know, kind of a training thing, and had to have his face is it's like reconstructed. It's plastic surgery. That's what made his face. I don't know what he looked like before that, but they said the shape
Distinctive looking now.
Yeah. Very distinctive. I mean, his nose always looked like it was broken, but I figured that was from the boxing. I didn't realize he'd had reconstructive surgery and back in 1943.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of surgery did they have then?
I'll bet it
I-
wasn't
I
top notch.
They use
plastic
can
surgery
openers,
wasn't yeah.
not the good kind either, the handheld one.
So he's been in,
Oh.
I think this is Is this the fourth or the fifth movie that he's in that we've done? Strange Case of Jekyll and Hyde, the Dan Curtis one.
Dracula.
Craze.
Yeah.
And this one, I think that might be it.
I like it when he plays like where he's a little bit more of a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
You usually see him just as a heavy or a tough guy and this and that, but I like it when he plays roles like this.
I like them in City Slickers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an odd one too, because he's nominated for an Oscar in two of his first roles, Sudden Fear and Shane. But then when he wins one is in City Slickers.
Hold on really quick. I'll
That's
be
when he
right back.
does-
It's a dog.
Ah, gotcha.
He does the push-ups on
Yeah.
the shoulder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was a character.
Yeah, and Martin Landau he did a couple of these. They do that. What's the movie where they're in like an asylum?
Yeah. Was that wasn't Alone in the Dark?
That might be.
Maybe that's the name of it. That's one I've wanted to do as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
That's
guys
a great
are
shot.
pros.
That shot of Landau at the bottom and that's when he says, somebody says something to him about, we got to call the police or the government, and we'll let the government take care of it. And he says, they never do nothing about nothing.
Oh, look at the little pup.
You're muted, Chris.
You're muted, Christy.
Sorry, Sean is picking up Mason from school, and Mulder's blind now, like I told y'all.
Oh,
So
that's right. That's right.
he went upstairs, and then he doesn't know how to get down. He gets scared because he'll fall otherwise.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so he was barking, and I just
you guys take very good care. I've been to their house, and they dote on him. These pups are pampered and loved and taken care of, and
that's awesome.
He's had a good, happy life.
I just don't like him to be stressed out. He gets stressed out, so sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He's the best. He's the best boy.
And here's Sue Ann Langdon, Neville Brand, and Ralph Meeker in the top shot.
I do like the waitress. She's cool.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Now, these folks had it easy. It's like, hey, could you come in and just shoot for a couple hours? And it's set in a bar. And like, oh yeah, I mean, Neville Brand, I can do a bar routine. And I love Ralph Meeker. Ralph Meeker's in one of my favorite movies. Kiss Me Deadly is absolutely one of my top 10 movies.
And we're doing that next week on.
That's a great film.
He looks like a stumble bum here.
Yep.
He does have a line,
to, right? Like,
kind of. And also, two things. First, Greydon Clark said he never had alcohol on his sets. So whenever they're drinking beer, it's apple cider and seltzer to add the foam, kind of.
That's probably a good move, because I think these guys would probably raise a ruckus.
Well, Addie said Neville Brand had trouble with alcohol, and I think it was the movie High Riders that he was in that Greydon Clark did, where he was concerned about the scenes in the bars, and Clark assured him there was no alcohol on the set. So,
apple juice and seltzer.
That makes sense.
Who'd have thought?
Apple cider. I don't know if that's different or not, but yeah.
I don't either. I have no idea what cider is versus juice.
Just provides the foam. I think the seltzer just provides the foam, kind of.
I know.
All right. And the other thing was Ralph Meeker. I'm not sure if it was before this movie came out, but in 1980 he suffered a debilitating stroke. This was the last movie he was in.
That sucks.
He lived another 8 years, but I think he was. I think he was in like the motion picture,
the retirement home.
Yeah.
I'm glad they have that, but it's always sad to hear it. Well, no, I guess it's good that that's where some people ended up living, because at least they were with people they could talk to and share stories and
Mhm.
take visitors and things. I guess that was a lucky break.
Anyway, yeah, he's another guy that you see a lot in the 70s and 60s and stuff. Neville Brand, we've actually done
Eaten Alive.
This is our third Neville Brand movie. Yeah, Eaten Alive and Killdozer.
Oh yeah,
How could you forget Killdozer?
I've tried.
And and Cameron Mitchell. I was going to mention Cameron Mitchell. This is the 5th Cameron Mitchell movie we've done. Amazingly.
Oh yeah, we got more to go.
Screamers.
Virus.
Screamers, Frankenstein Island, Blood and Black Lace, and Man-Eater of Hydra.
Huh.
Ooh, Man-Eater of Hydra.
There's at least one classic in there.
Tastes like meat.
Blood and yeah, he in the Man-Eater of Hydra, he creates
Fake meat. Out of plant.
fake meat that's a vegetable.
So
And it bleeds and tastes like meat.
art imitates life.
Yeah, he's responsible
Anyway.
for the Impossible Burger.
So, y'all, what else? Anything else we got to say here?
No, it's a
It's
fun
worth a
little
watch.
slice. It's worth a
Mhm.
watch. Fun little
Yep.
slice of sci-fi horror on a low budget,
Yep.
but with a good cast.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Darby Hinton, who played Cameron Mitchell's son,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
also played Little Israel in the Daniel Boone show.
Oh,
The little blonde-haired kid,
I
son
don't
of
know who
Daniel
the hell
Boone.
that is.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean neither. I don't know who. I don't
I
know
don't know.
most of Jeff's references.
You never
but I
saw
just
Daniel
go,
Boone
"Oh,
show?
I remember the
I
theme
did,
song.
but I don't remember that.
He had a little kid,
I have
little
never seen
toe-haired
it.
toe-headed kid named Israel.
Toe-headed?
Daniel Boone was a man. Yes, a
White.
big man.
Super yellow blonde hair.
Oh, well,
Uh,
towhead. Towhead.
yeah, I don't know.
That's what they used to call blonde children, towheads.
Well, along with and
Why?
his
Is there a
sister,
reason?
his sister, who I believe was her name Jemima.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's
No, I'm not kidding. In the
Boy,
show
that's a whole.
was played by geez.
I have yet to meet an actual person named Jemima.
Yeah,
I may have that wrong, but
and if you did get it wrong, boy, are you in trouble.
it's driving me nuts. I have to look this up because she was an alien.
In Alien?
Veronica Cartwright. I couldn't remember her last
Veronica
name.
Cartwright.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Oh, okay.
played Daniel Boone's daughter in that show.
Oh.
And
wow.
just
She was in a lot of
everybody-
shows when she was a kid.
So Veronica Cartwright, and then her sister was Angela Cartwright. She was in a bunch of stuff too.
Mm-hmm. She was in Lost in Space, right?
Yeah.
Lost in
Yeah,
space.
and Danny Thomas show. Oh my God, does she have? She's got a ton of credits. Where is the Daniel Boone show?
As we watch Jeff go.
And
down
her
one
name
of these
was
rabbit holes.
Jemima.
Jemima.
I'm telling
There
you.
you go.
Listen to me.
That's crazy.
All right. And what does that have to do with anything? I don't know. Six degrees of without
Jemima.
warning.
Yeah.
First, there's a syrup.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we got everything covered.
We do. It's a great movie. Everybody should watch it.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
currently on
Yep.
Tubi.
And I love it just for the member berries alone. I just love it. I just love
Member
it.
berries.
Member
I remember.
Remember? I remember. You remember?
I
I remember.
Just good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the director also said for some reason one of the distributors cut the scene where they run into Martin Landau in the restroom.
Oh.
And he said something about the scene where they're talking about paying for the gas or not or something. I don't know where it stops and starts, but definitely when they meet Martin Landau in the bathroom. So, when Martin Landau sees those 3 words on the bathroom stall,
Mhm.
And I forget what it is. No escape, no help, no
Hope.
no escape. There's 3 phrases up there anyway.
Did you say
He
that?
says that he says that periodically throughout the movie, but that distributor cut it out, and he didn't really know why.
So then he was saying it at the end of the movie, and nobody knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
What's this guy mumbling about?
Just keep repeating and repeating. All right, that's it. Check it out. There is a Blu-ray, and it's on Tubi right now, and it's the quote unquote director's cut. It has that footage put back in. So, okay, we got feedback.
Okay.
Everybody ready for feedback?
Yeah.
Letters.
Almost.
We
got letters.
Oh, Mulder. Hold on. Let's see.
First thing we have is Neon Maniacs from episode 195. Chad, you want to take this? This is going to be partially the Travis McDonald show because he's catching up on old episodes, I think. Episode 195, Neon Maniacs. Chad, can you take that one?
Sure. Travis says, when you guys reviewed Nomads, I commented that the movie was very linear and made me feel like I had acid reflux. With Neon Maniacs, the movie isn't very linear and made me feel like I had the flu. This is okay. And yet this movie is strangely fun. I wonder if the filmmakers were possibly trying to cash in on the success of Demons. This film definitely needed Tony the Pimp to spruce things up. I was only vaguely familiar with this film and can now check it off the 80s horror list or whatever this was supposed to be. Great review. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember back in the day seeing it, and it was just one of my favorites. But also, Chad mentioned in this almost 3-year-old review that copies of Neon Maniacs were going for $60 on eBay. I recently saw that an original unsealed copy of Ghoulies in the old Vestron video box was going for $600. I love 80s horror, but that's flushing your money down the toilet. But dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jose would call stupid money. It's available for stupid money.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 257, Spookies. Yeah, thank you, Travis, and thank you again. Episode 257, Spookies. Bill, could you take that one from Travis McDonald?
Travis says, I'm old enough to remember when Spookies first came out on VHS. My local video store had a poster on the wall, and eventually I rented it, largely because the cover art was top-notch. Despite its troubled production, this is a fun film. It's flawed, and the plot could confuse Lieutenant Columbo, but Spookies has a charm to it. And props to Mr. Mohr for his dedication with this one and all the research he did. Best wishes.
Oh, no.
Yep.
That means that was one of the ones where I talked the whole time.
Travis, don't encourage him.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I need to get more Blu-rays. My audience expects it.
Episode 272, The Gate. Also Travis McDonald. Crystal?
The Gate was a childhood favorite of mine. I watched it numerous times as it got heavy play on HBO back in the day. I agree with everyone that The Gate is a great kids-oriented horror film that can still be appreciated as an adult. Thank you for the trip down memory lane. In regard to horror aimed at younger audiences, I would love for you guys to one day possibly review Something Wicked This Way Comes. I love that movie. Oh my God, I love that movie, which came from an era that Disney attempted to make darker films before solely focusing on scaring families with the cost of admission to their parks. For once, I believe I may have recommended a good film in my usual pablum of bad Italian exploitation films? Question mark?
Yeah.
There we go. Yes, I love Something Wicked This Way Comes.
You can't find it anywhere.
Oh,
yeah, it's hard to
it's
find.
It's not available on physical media. It's not streaming anywhere.
You think it would be on Disney, but
yeah,
I don't know if there's something about it that they took it out of circulation totally, or if somebody, if there's sometimes there's copyright issues or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a Bradbury
issue.
issue.
I should look that up because I love the book too. excellent Ray Bradbury book. We are, Something Wicked This Way Comes, Travis. That's one of the ones I check periodically.
Yeah.
All right. And Emulous 79 with one of his usual one-liners on the gate. Chad.
Maybe I'm mean, but I laughed when the mom turned into the dog. Okay, so she's a dog.
Yeah. Who are you going to call?
Who are you, Emulous? Who are you really?
That's funny.
And Jose Bill on the gate.
Jose Herrera.
Luis Herrera.
9987. Gosh, I saw this when it opened in 87 at a new theater in Tucson. There were only a few people in the audience as it was a matinee showing. Good film, not great, but there was some memorable stuff in there. The eye in the hand, the man toppling to the ground, exploding into the scampering creatures. Strangely enough, I do not have this film on any video format.
Jose. You're falling down.
Are you fanning your doggy?
No, look, he keeps farting. And if you know anything about dog farts, okay, like it's the most awful smell ever.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to save myself from throwing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Well, Crystal, I would have just said I'm fanning a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm good like that.
This
You
one,
don't even know.
That food doesn't smell good going in, so I can only imagine.
You always hear the straight, unadulterated truth from decades.
Like I'll be honest with you, like, having 3 dogs, it's so obvious when a person farts versus a dog farts because the smell is so much worse. Like I cannot explain to you how bad it is. Okay, it's just,
I don't know if you've been around Chad when he lets one rip.
Comfortable, he's like laying on my arm. I'm like, I refuse to move for I'm like, I'm just gonna, when I move, he's gonna go back upstairs. That's it. Otherwise, I just take it, whatever.
Oh, you're a good mom.
Well, that's it for feedback.
On that note.
But we love your feedback.
A little feedback of our own there.
See, if we had more feedback, who knows? We may have never heard that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
There's plenty of ways to stay in touch. You can put feedback right there on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel. Make a comment. Or you can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or even check us out on the Gruesome Magazine H&R and DOH podcast Facebook group. We love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yes. We do. See, we read them. And our listeners are the most knowledgeable. They tell us stuff we don't know.
That's true.
Suggest movies we have no clue what the hell they're talking about sometimes. But anyway, and we still watch them. So witness Frankenstein Island and the Loch Ness Horror.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. That's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by me.
Dog Farm, the movie.
Terror Vision.
Terror Vision. Awesome.
Which we've had, I think we've had several people suggest. I thought I heard Chad say he liked it.
I liked it, but I never knew it was streaming anywhere.
It is. I forget where it's at now. I think maybe it's. Oh, YouTube. I found it on YouTube.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I haven't.
Maybe.
It looks absolutely crazy. Terror Vision in the past has been suggested by Robert Baker and Gregory Crosby, and I'm sure there's more. Once I get 2 people on there, I don't put any more names on there. But
Gregory Crosby, that makes sense.
He'd never steer us wrong.
He likes those literary-based movies, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I may be missing something here. So tune in for that.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Make sure you join us for that. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie. The 1980s is only decades of horror can do it. Thank you all so much. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too,
Yes.
everybody.
The same.
And say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.